Poshmark is a great e-commerce platform. There's a lot of people looking for clothing, home goods, kids stuff on there, a lot of different things, even pet supplies now. They recently introduced that as a category. They plan to expand into like other categories coming soon, as well as other countries. I believe currently they're just in the US and in Canada, but they plan to expand into Mexico and I believe into Europe in the coming years as well. The issue with Poshmark specifically is the same as one of the ones that I talked about before, which is OfferUp, right? So with Poshmark, you need to use the Poshmark label to ship to customers, okay? And that presents a challenge because you can't always just facilitate the sale from a supplier to the customer using a different label because you need to use the Poshmark label, okay? So in this video right here, I'm gonna show you how to actually dropship from Poshmark effectively so you can fly under the radar and make great profit. Now, one of the things that Z-Drops introduced recently is a lot of these copy to Poshmark buttons. So there's gonna be two main ways that you can list onto Poshmark and dropship. You can either use the integrations that Z-Drop has, which I've seen it on Amazon and I've seen it on Walmart. We're gonna hit the copy to Poshmark button and it's gonna copy to Poshmark. You can also, if you wanted to do it like this, you can also just hit copy to Mercari and then copy to Facebook, and it's just gonna start copying all of those, and then you just have to paste the stuff in. So we're listing this obviously on Poshmark as the example right here. So we're gonna hit apply, and all these listings are just gonna pop up. The listing's pretty much full there. And we want to make sure that the right pictures are in the front here. So I'm going to make, again, the title, same thing, right? Like women's button-down V-neck. And one of the things right now on Poshmark, I know they're working on it. A lot, like Mercari used to be super low, like amount of title, like super low characters in the amount of title. I think it was 40. It was even lower than Poshmark, but they just recently increased this to 80. I know Poshmark's working on increasing this. I also know they're working on increasing the description size, but I don't know when they're exactly rolling that out. So by the time you're watching this and actually trying it, it very well could be. But right now you are limited to the amount of space in your description and your title on Poshmark, okay? So you want to be like women's button-down V-neck, tank top, casual shirt will probably work. Casual shirt, bam. And there we go, that's perfect, okay? I'm just gonna leave this like this, and we're gonna make this like women's blouse, so women's top probably. And the more you do it on Poshmark, just like on Facebook Marketplace, just like on any site, the more you're going to understand the categories and you're going to be able to categorize it very, very quickly. And then I'm also going to make sure that we have all the sizes in here. So what are the sizes? One thing I do on Poshmark, because you're allowed to list variations, is you want to make sure that all the sizes are the same price. So I just kind of go through, see this one dropped, and you want to make sure that you list it at the highest price estimate, so that you're sure that if you list it, God forbid, at like $13 or a little bit higher, but then you go to the small. I hate all these pop-ups. I have so many cashback things that they just pop up now. And we go make sure that all of these are the same price. So it looks like it sells at $12.99 for most of these. It's got like the small, medium, large, XL, and double XL, but the small is $17.99. So you want to price according to the small, not the other sizes, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to list multi-items. We're going to list the small, medium, large, XL, and I won't worry about we'll go double XL too. And so we'll go like 4, quantity 4, quantity 4. It doesn't really matter, again, what your quantity is here. I wouldn't go too overboard, but I also wouldn't go like 1 or 2 because then you're going to go out of stock and you don't want to have to worry about that. You can list more if you want, although I wouldn't go too high because you can always change those. It's very, very easy, okay? I leave the brand, especially when I'm drop shipping from like Amazon or Walmart, I leave the brand undone. It's going to be white. We're going to categorize it as that. You can also, this is new on Poshmark, you can categorize it as like title. So we're going to put like blouse, top, I don't know why I said tops, top, and like shirt. One of the things I think looks better on Poshmark is like when you put 0 in the original price. So because you'll notice like on a listing, if you put the original price, it's going to go like original price and cross the original price out and then show your listing price. I don't like the way that looks. I think it looks more professional like this. So that's the way I do it. You don't have to. But again, this is going to be a Prime, so it's free delivery. It's not Prime, but still free delivery. Taxes we're going to estimate are like a little bit under $2 because like I've said before, you always take 10% of it because the highest potential sales tax is 9%, I believe, in California. So I always estimate 10% because it's easy to do that math. So this is going to be like $1.70 or $1.80, depending on, it's $18, so it's going to be $1.80 sales tax. So I'm just going to estimate that it's $2 more. So 18 to 20. It's going to cost us $20 with shipping and with tax to get this to our customer. Okay. And so I'm going to mark this up because one of the good things about Poshmark and Mercari as well is it's going to show you the fee structure. So if you mark it up to 25, well, your earnings are only going to be 20. You're not going to make any money, right? I also never put any discounted shipping originally. That's just the way that I approach it. So you want to list this higher. 29 is still going to be a pretty low profit margin, but you could. What I like to do is I'll list these relatively high and then I'll make offers to likers, because you can simulate urgency and accumulate a lot more interest on a listing this way. So I list it higher. If you make a sale, great. And then you can also make offers to likers in the future. Okay. So if we make this sale at $39, which somebody could potentially come in and buy this at $39 super easily, then we're going to make $31.20 on that sale. And then we just go ahead and list it. Okay. And that's how you drop ship onto Poshmark. The issues with Poshmark that you need to understand, the main thing is that you need to use the Poshmark label to ship it to the customer. Okay. So there's two main ways that you can do this. I've tried them both. They both work well. Okay. You can do dropship arbitrage, or you can drop ship like normal with a thank you note. Because you need to ship the Poshmark label to the customer, they actually need to track the label from you to the actual customer in order to pay you out for you to actually get credit for the sale. You can do one of two things. Dropship arbitrage is basically drop shipping, but with a middle step of you first, then shipping it out, right? So in this case, you'd list everything to Poshmark. As soon as you get a sale on Poshmark, you then order that product to you, right? So you go to that listing, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Walmart or whatever. The key here is you need to make sure that the time between where you order it and the shipping and the handling time, it comes to you within 1 to 3 days, right? Because you have to ship out on Poshmark within 3 days, okay? So if you're ordering Amazon Prime, obviously it's going to come to you very, very quickly, right? If you're ordering Walmart, chances are it's going to come to you within like 1 to 2 days. Just make sure the product and the specific listing on that actual site obviously works with that. So for example, I always used to use like Amazon Prime, and I would order it to my house and it would show up to my house in like a day or two, and then I would literally package it up with the actual Poshmark label and then ship it to the customer, okay? So that's dropship arbitrage. It's the same thing. It'll be the same profit margin because you're not paying for the shipping. It just adds a middle step of you receiving the product first and then shipping it out using the Poshmark label. This works very, very well, but obviously adds the step of you having to package the product up, okay? It's not that big of a deal. You can scale it up still very, very, quickly and very, very easily, but it's a little bit more safer because obviously you're still shipping out the product with the customer or with the Poshmark label, okay? That's dropship arbitrage. You can do that. And this was very, very effective. I used to do this all the time. I still do it with certain listings, but now I've been kind of moving to this, which is drop shipping with a thank you note. So same thing with like any other drop shipping. You list on Poshmark, you make the sale on Poshmark, then you order that product from your supplier to the customer just like you would any other marketplace, just the same, right? But then because you also need to use the Poshmark label and you need to ship that to the customer as well, what you then do is you ship a thank you note with to the customer with a Poshmark label, and that also works very, very well. This is more secure. This is more, safe for lack of a better word, but you have to spend the time to package the product up and then ship it out, which is super easy. And then obviously drop it off in like a USPS, like one of those blue bins, or drop it off at the post office, which can be annoying. It's not annoying for me because I'm always on the road anyway, and I just drop them off like in between wherever I'm going. It's super easy and they're all over the place. But you can also do it this way as well, where you just ship it to the customer from the supplier and then also use the Poshmark label that you print out and ship a thank you note to the customer and thank them for ordering, and just say something along the lines of like, hey, I want to give you a thank you. Your package is on the way. It should be, here at this estimated date. You can literally tell them. And then, because you'll know that with your tracking on Amazon or Walmart or wherever. And then you can be like, and as a thank you, I want to offer you 10% off your next order. Just, message me this, and you can pick from whatever, right? Something along those lines. Another thing that I used to do is say something along the lines of like, hey, I just want to apologize. I ran out of inventory in my warehouse, but I did have inventory for this specific listing in Amazon or Walmart where I also sell. So what I'm doing is I'm shipping you one from that listing, but I just wanted to send you a thank you, letting you know, and apologizing for the discrepancy or the confusion or whatever.